Hi, everyone. Welcome to our LinkedIn Live. It's NACAC week, and we're super excited to bring you some information that's coming from 3 Enrollment Marketing this week. Hope you're all getting packed and ready to go to NACAC. It's going to be an exciting week. Today, I'm joined by my colleague, Jami, who's going to be at NACAC all week. So, Jami, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody?
Thanks, Matt. So I'm Jami Hornbuckle. I am the Vice President for Innovation and Engineering here at 3 Enrollment Marketing. Spent about 25 years on the other side, as we like to say, in higher education and institution at the institutional level. In marketing, I'm getting some. I'm hearing
Yeah.
you, Matt. Can you?
I'm not speaking right now. I got a little bit of feedback, but this is live. So,
Okay.
what are we going to do?
It's live is live, right? So
Live is live.
we're just proving that this is not Memorex.
Yeah, this is.
We're just going to say that I'll be at NACAC live also. Unfortunately, I won't have Matt with me. VP of Innovation and Engineering here at 3E. I spent 25 years on the other side at institutions. Really focused on enrollment marketing, advancement, alumni relations, all things marketing, and did some doctoral work in the ed tech and leadership space. And so I'm bringing all of my passions and interest here to 3E and into the colleges and universities that we work with. And it's this week is particularly exciting because I get to talk about something that has been under wraps here at 3E and something I've been working on and something I'm quite passionate about. But I know we'll get to that in a minute, Matt.
We're going to get to that. First, we're going to talk a little bit about marketing because I'm a long time marketing person, and you're a long time marketing person as well. So let's talk a little bit about empathy. It's such a powerful force in marketing today, especially from a cognitive marketing perspective. Why do you think that is?
Well, you're definitely speaking my language here. I think empathy is really the key to trust, and trust is the foundation of any effective marketing strategy. When we talk about neuroscience, about cognitive marketing, we're really talking about how the human brain processes information,
Yep.
how the consumer weighs decisions, how we build relationships with people, with brands. And neuroscience shows us that decisions are not purely rational. I know for me, they're very rarely rational.
Yeah.
They're heavily influenced by emotions. It's emotion, it's memory, social belonging is so important. And we know that's so important in the college decision-making process. When a message or experience feels empathetic, the brain processes it differently. Instead of triggering skepticism or resistance, and we know this population of students, this age of undergraduate traditional students that we're marketing to, is extremely they're extremely skeptical of overt marketing. So we know that that's already there, but to use empathy, it activates the areas of the brain tied to safety, tied to reward, tied to confidence. Students and families feel like, hey, this school gets me. They understand our fears. They understand my hopes, my goals. That sense of being understood is so important. It doesn't just increase awareness. It accelerates conversion. We say conversation and then conversion because people are more likely to act when they feel seen, when they feel supported. So I think to me, that's when we talk about empathy, as a powerful force. Sometimes I think people feel like that's contradictory, that empathy isn't a force. But it's such a powerful force in marketing, and it's because we have this irrational side that's driven by emotion, and it's the emotion in the decision of going to college that's so important, and we want as an institution to be a partner to having that student feel supported, to feeling welcome, to feeling belonged. And so that for me is really at the heart of this.
That's such a great answer. My first creative director in an advertising agency used to say that marketing is a real estate play, and that real estate is the corner of the person's brain who is going to recall the thing that you're marketing. And you're right, empathy can really help that. It can help just we think about more things that we have passion about,
Yep.
and we're more passionate about things that appear to be as passionate towards us as well. So it's really awesome. So now we're going to kind of talk a little bit about artificial intelligence and how can artificial intelligence intersect with empathy, and is it ever possible for technology to be empathetic?
Well, I think, this is a source of great debate right now, in
Yeah.
particular, right? And I think, not to be too Taylor Swift,
Oh, you can be Taylor Swift. That's okay.
here, but it is the AI era.
Yeah.
I think this is, and while AI and artificial intelligence has been around since the 50s, and machine learning, this is the moment that we're in. So AI is kind of like, people throw out AI like, oh, this is AI powered, or this is AI. But I think it's about it being a tool. So when you talk about the possibility of it, the technology being empathetic, for me, it's very much about thinking how humans use it in good ways. So really, this is the big question before us. AI doesn't have feelings, but
Right.
what it can do is deliver experiences that we have orchestrated that demonstrate empathy. Think about how we design the interaction. When a student reaches out, let's say, 2 a.m. in the morning, they're finishing their English homework, and they're like, oh, I forgot to ask that question about financial aid. They're not just looking for an answer. They're often feeling very anxious, maybe even a
Yeah.
little embarrassed that they waited to ask because they were supposed to ask a week ago. They told their parents they asked. They were supposed to follow up, but the AI assistant in our case at 3 EI Recruiter can acknowledge that anxiety or perhaps the embarrassment they feel, and they're there at 2 a.m. in the morning. They respond in a way that maybe normalizes the concern and provides both clarity and comfort at the same time. And I think that's really where this design science at 3E becomes really critical. We teach AI not just what to say, but how to say it.
Yeah.
Tone, the pacing, the word choice. But for me, the particularly important, that's kind of the technicalities, right? I mean, we talk about tone and pacing,
Right.
but empathy, right? How do we teach the AI to validate a nuanced emotion behind a question? And that's really what we're aiming to do. And it's designed, our AI and our AI assistant is designed to do that consistently. So anyway, for me, the intersection of AI and empathy is really about scale. And I think that's where people are like, you can't scale empathy. And I'm like, well, let's talk about let's peel that back a little bit. Humans have a natural capacity for empathy. Some of us may say other people don't. Some people don't, but naturally humans have a capacity for empathy. But we also have limited time. We have limited bandwidth. AI can scale empathetic communication. It can make sure, at your institution that no student is left waiting, is ignored or dismissed, that their question, whether it be at 2 a.m. in the morning or 2 p.m. on the day that your office is inundated with visits, that their answer doesn't go ignored. So if you think about it, it's really empathy multiplied.
And it's not just ignored, it's understood, right? If you had an actual person who was there answering a chat at 2 a.m., that person would realize the context of somebody asking about financial aid at 2 a.m. and answer in a way that is supportive and helpful and everything. So it's not just it's going unanswered. It's going answered in the context, and that's what the AI can help. It can help understand the context.
The context and the nuance, I think, is so critical. And you said, the person could answer that way, and I know, Matt, we both come from university backgrounds.
Yeah.
And I'm sure this never happened at your institution, but sometimes even the best trained people that you had weren't able to pick up some of those nuances.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I hear you. I hear you.
So the technology, and being able to train AI to pick up that nuance.
Yeah.
actually allows you to scale. Maybe you take your best recruiter, right? Use them as that example. And so I think regardless of the level of, we think everybody's had this base training, but what we're talking about is like scaling the best person that you have.
So this sounds, this as just if you're listening to this from outside, this sounds a little too good to be true-ish, Jami.
Yeah.
Right? So, you're going to have an empathetic, intelligent recruiter that answers questions at 2 a.m. It's not. That's the thing. And if you want to see this at NACAC, if you're at NACAC, you can book time with Jami. You can go to 3enrollment.com/NACAC and book time with Jami on Thursday, or find her at NACAC and take a look at this. Like, it's a promise, but it's also a reality. And it takes both design, as you talked about, but also execution. So let's talk a little bit about that, how this actually comes to life with 3E Recruiter.
Yeah.
What makes it different? I know what makes it different from other chatbot solutions in higher ed, but why don't you tell everybody else what makes it different?
Yeah. So most chatbots on college websites that you'll find today are built for efficiency. And when we talk about AI and automation, that's usually the context we're talking about, right? We want to make our lives easier. It's really about efficiency. So you really don't hear empathy brought in as that second E there, efficiency and empathy. These bots are largely transactional. It's about,
in fairness, so is the .edu. It's a very transactional place. It's the place all you can really do is book tours and apply. You can't really find out what it's like to be a student there. So
fair.
Sorry.
I
Just
think
had to throw that out there because I read a lot of .edus, and they could use some empathy, Jami. They could use some empathy.
Well, I think empathy, and I think the content strategy here is we look at empathy. And I think when we talk about the 3E way, there's a big part of that. What we've done with 3E Recruiter starts from a completely different foundation. It actually we start from the 3E way. All of our content combines empathy, evidence, and precision in every interaction. So we're not starting from what can AI do for us for efficiency's sake. We are starting from how do we want to approach this interaction and this conversation. And so that's one of the big differentiators here. Secondly, it's trained on 2 levels of knowledge. First, it pulls from this global framework that we've built around enrollment marketing best practices, including that 3E way.
Yeah.
On tone, on personas that are proprietary at 3E, and we can talk about that some other time. It has specific guardrails for privacy, for ethics.
Yeah.
It layers on then specific institutional knowledge, programs, deadlines, financial aid policies, housing processes, what's student life like. It knows the institution, but it also communicates in a way that reflects that institution's brand values, its ethos, its audience's needs. And I think what it again really becomes is that scaled best recruiter. It's not, and this is a little crass. So this is one of the ways that I explain it. It's not just about answering questions. FAQs are great, and that's a whole other ball game. You can talk about FAQs on your .edu right now. Awesome thing to have when it comes
important.
to AI, right? But that's not a conversation.
It's not. No.
Right.
Just talking to them.
And I think what you'd find in a lot of bots that are out in the market right now, what I call them are regurgitating FAQs.
Yeah.
Gotcha. If you prompt it the right way with the right question, you'll get the scripted answer back. But that's not a conversation. That's not me actually being able to express my concerns or express my feelings, and the bot taking the emotional cues from what I'm saying and walking me through, hey, I might be undecided. I don't even know if I want to go to college, and being able to walk me through that from a very human-centered conversation and discussion with empathy, designed to make students feel like they're guided again, like that guiding, not just redirected somewhere else. So I think for me, that's the real differentiator. It truly is meant to be, and I don't want to say it's human. It's not human, but have those human-like interactions to move from conversation ultimately to conversion.
Yeah.
To serve students in the best way possible. For me, that's really at the core here. How to serve students best in a way that is trustworthy and true to an institution's ethos.
Yeah. So Jami's being super modest. She's been working on this for a long, long time. And the outcome is amazing. And you can see it at 3enrollment.com/NACAC. Book some time with Jami. I'm told there's a French toast station at the breakfast that you're going to. I need to see some pictures of that,
French
Jami.
toast bar, you'll get them.
French toast bar.
Yes.
Right. Never heard of that. That sounds amazing. Yeah. And so if you're going to NACAC, if you're packing for NACAC right now and you're thinking about what to do on Thursday, go to 3enrollment.com/NACAC and book some time with Jami. See what this looks like. You can take a look at it. If you're not going to NACAC and you still want to see it, then we'll put a link in the comments below at 3enrollment.com/connect. And you can connect with us. You can connect with Jami on LinkedIn. She runs a newsletter called The Thinking Marketer that is worth your time. And so there's a lot of ways to connect with us to find out how to actually bring empathy to what are truly transactional pages. So you can actually bring something that is talking to them, meeting them where they are, and understanding what they're going through, what students are going through at this moment. So it's really, truly an awesome thing. I can't say enough good things about it or the work that you've done, Jami, on bringing this to the higher education marketplace.
All right, thanks, Matt. I think what I would say here is, Brene Brown is keynoting at NACAC on Thursday. And she would remind us that, and to quote her, connection is why we're here.
Yep.
So I think that is the true heart of 3EI Recruiter. It's what makes empathy possible in marketing. And certainly hope to connect with anyone that watches this and sees it and wants to connect at NACAC or on LinkedIn. So obviously I am passionate about the work that we're doing. We believe that this isn't about more noise or faster clicks. It's about that deeper connection. So happy to have those conversations.
Yeah. So that's 3enrollment.com/NACAC. Book time with Jami. Go for the French toast bar. Go to see what this looks like in person. And Jami, I hope you have a really great experience at NACAC, and I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me today about this intelligent recruiter.
Thanks, Matt. It is always a joy to talk with you.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining us. And watch 3enrollment.com this week because we have a lot of news coming out, a lot of exciting things happening. So take a look at 3enrollment.com/events, book time with Jami, and have a great time at NACAC if you're going. Thanks, everyone. We'll talk to you later.